I've never seen an episode of the TV show Wacky Races, but I have come in contact with games based on it, like a Mario Kart clone for PC. Then I found that a Famicom and NES game was also made, by Atlus no less. You play as Muttley the dog, and before the game begins you get to choose one of 3 routes through the world, which determines the kind of stages you'll play. Along the way you'll fight bosses of course. I don't recognize any of them, not having watched the show, but I have to assume that Dick Dastardly shows up at some point. I liked this game as soon as I took control for the first time. The controls are great actually, very tight and responsive. The second thing I got to like quickly was the game's power-up system, which evokes thoughts of Gradius of all things. Strewn throughout the levels are diamonds that act like coins, and 1-ups, which are of course basic, but the bones are a little different. Each time you pick one up, a power-up is highlighted, and you can press select to activate it or pick up more bones to get another one as you'd like. First up on the power-up list is bombs, which you of course throw at enemies like you'd expect. Then barking, which shoots a projectile in a straight line compared to the bomb's arc. Third is the wing, which enables Muttley to float down in the air if you keep hitting A. This is very handy and I recommend activating it when you get the chance. Fourth is a heart, that not only refills your health, but adds another heart to your total as well. There are many bones on each stage, so usually you'll have plenty of opportunity of cycling through the list to get at the ones you want, but sometimes it pays to be frugal and hold off on using the health until you need it and so on. The stages are set up fairly conservatively. There are no crazy gimmicks, sudden flying stages, disappearing blocks or things like that. Some might then think that this game is less exciting for it, but I still think that what it does do, it does well. The stages are varied in how they look at least, and there's a lot to see from forests, the desert, castle, pyramid, ice and cloud stages among others. Enemies don't really repeat from stage to stage either, which is nice. The graphics are good too, not spectacular, but each locale is nicely represented. The difficulty is definitely at medium. With a few uses of the heart you can take several hits, and thanks to the controls it never feels like it's a game's fault when you do get hit. I did have a problem with one of the bosses though, as the only real strategy seems to duck in place, but sometimes he shoots down and there's little you can do about that except take a hit and outlast him. You have a fair amount of lives, and while there is a time limit, it's quite generous, so it's rarely ever a factor. The bomb and the bark attacks do have a slight delay to them, so you might find yourself taking an unexpected hit if you let an enemy get too close before attacking. With your default bite attack however, that is not a problem at all. Wacky Races is what some might call just another platformer, an average game. Personally I think it's better than that. If you think this is average, maybe you should rethink your average. To me, average is games like Adventures of Rad Gravity, Trojan or Adam's Family. Wacky Races, with its great controls, power-up system and overall pleasantness, is above average. Play it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.